Hello and welcome back to the Pleasure Principles podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jordin Wiggins, your guide to helping you high achieving alpha women be as badass in the bedroom and relationships as you are in business. I help successful women who feel unfulfilled and disconnected create more intimacy, joy, and pleasure in their personal lives. As the author of The Pink Canary, naturopathic doctor, pleasure and intimacy coach, I know that hustle culture has taught you that doing it all will be the key to fulfillment, but it is draining your energy and killing your intimacy. My mission is to guide you down the pleasure path, reigniting your desire, reclaiming your feminine power, and helping you feel deeply supported, all while thriving in your career. Want to go deep here right at the beginning, which is not my normal style and not the way that I recommend you do things in the bedroom. But I need you to know, if your sex life dies, you are not doing it right. I hear all of the excuses. Oh, my parents weren't affectionate. Sex is going to stop after marriage, after kids, or other excuses around timing after this quarter, once the kids are back to school or go away to school. The shame that we carry around, maybe it is from assault, sexual trauma, shame from too many previous partners, shame from worked with sex workers, and they can carry shame. Growing up, many of us were taught a limited and often shame-based narrative about our sexuality. Sex is for straight married people at night in their beds, only with each other. Sex is something that you do, but you don't talk about. Society, media, even well-meaning family members, school, do not even get me started on the sex education or lack of sex education in schools. But these ideas were passed down that left us feeling broken, inadequate, wrong for desiring more, wrong for desiring at all if you identify as a woman. But here's the truth: you are not broken. What you have been taught is. You are here because you are all smart alpha women, but I bet you believe some of these harmful myths, and they're getting in the way of you being like my clients who are being stopped out in public asking what their skincare routine is because they're glowing. My clients giving and receiving the best oral sex of their life, texting the group being like, sorry, gonna be late for this call because we were practicing what we talked about at the retreat. If you are believing these myths, just by talking about them, just by becoming aware of them, it's going to open up space for more connection in your relationships, in your bedrooms. So, in this episode, we're going to deconstruct these harmful myths and share actionable steps to help you reconnect with your pleasure. Let's dive in. Myth number one: women's sexuality declines with age. How many of you have heard, oh, it's normal for women to lose interest in sex as they get older? It's inevitable for your libido to fade as you age. Your priorities shift when you get older. Sex just isn't as important anymore. Menopause marks the end of your sexual prime, or you're too busy to focus on your libido. Especially something that my clients hear, alpha high achieving women hear, libido decline is just part of having it all. The notion that juggling success, family, relationships naturally leads to sexual burnout and reinforces the idea that you have to give something up because you have so much. You don't get great sex and all the career success. And it also reinforces the idea that women's desires are secondary and expendable. These myths surrounding age and libido just drying up or not being a priority keeps so many women stuck. So many women stuck believing that there is nothing they can do about their dwindling libido. They have to accept that it's not something for them and instead bury themselves in work, get their dopamine and pleasure elsewhere. And if you are new here, or if you have listened to me for a long time, you should know that your libido is not about your age. Low libidos, mismatched desires are multifactorial problems to solve, hurdles to overcome. Libido has to do with lifestyle, emotional health, hormones, pleasure beliefs, and mindset. How much you are prioritizing your pleasure. Women truly are like a fine wine. We can actually become more orgasmic, more sensual, and more connected as we age. But it requires a shift in mindset and a commitment to pleasure mastery. So, a tip for you: start by carving out time each day or week for intentional pleasure, doing something that makes you feel good. Could be sensual bath, reading erotic literature, exploring breath work. Prioritizing pleasure is an act of rebellion against this outdated myth that you're just supposed to dry up, shrivel up as you get older. And when you are burnt out, when you are in fight or flight, when the pleasure centers of your brain are off, prioritizing pleasure is an act of rebellion to do. It is hard to do because your body, your nervous system, your adrenals are all focused on putting out fires, crossing off the next item onto your to-do list. They are not focused on relaxing and being present with pleasure and being connected with those around you. So this seems like or may feel like something that you want to roll your eyes about. Trust me. If you are not as happy as you should be, as you feel you should be, if you're not as happy as you used to be, if you don't have the same joy in life, making intentional pleasure time every day, week is essential. Myth number 2: good women don't talk about sex. Want to lump in there the myth of he should just know. Communication myths. We alpha women run companies, we save lives, but we can't say a little to the left or I actually really don't like that thing you've been doing for 10 years. The myth that good women don't talk about sex runs deep. We have been conditioned to stay quiet about our desires, our needs, our fantasies. In fact, let's think about it. What are your fantasies? What do you desire? Oftentimes, I get blank stares from my clients when I ask these questions. So, if you've ever felt shame or hesitation about expressing what you want, know this: the silence is part of the programming. Open communication is the key to unlocking pleasure. Your desires are valid and they deserve to be heard. Whether it's with your partner, your friends, or even yourself, speaking your truth is liberating, and there are steps to take. Because let's face it, if it was as simple as speak your truth, ask for what you want, you would have done that already. So some of us need to do the desire work, figuring out what we desire, what turns us on now. Maybe you know what turned you on 20 years ago, and you still have those hot, steamy memories from a rendezvous when you were 27, but you haven't had sex that hot in the last 10, 20 years. That is a problem. We need to figure out what you desire today. And there's even a step before that, which I'm going to explain in my private podcast series. Hey, high achiever, this one's for you. If you're feeling burnt out, disconnected in your relationships, and wondering why intimacy feels more like an obligation than something you actually want, let me tell you, it's not your hormones and it's not just stress. It's time to uncover the real reasons behind your lack of joy and mismatched libidos, and I can help. Join me, Dr. Jordin Wiggins, for the pleasure path. a 5-part podcast series created to help ambitious women like you reignite connection, intimacy, and yes, pleasure. I'll guide you through understanding what's really blocking your libido and connection in your relationships, rebuilding emotional and physical intimacy with your partner, letting go of the need to control and learning how to receive, embracing feminine energy, and let's not forget, mastering your pleasure, becoming the lover that you've always wanted to be. The Pleasure Path, an alpha woman's guide to feeling fulfilled, is more than a podcast. It's your blueprint to move from overgiving and overachieving to truly receiving the intimacy, connection, and passion you deserve. We go live February 10th, just in time to start shifting your relationship before Valentine's Day. Sign up now at thepleasurecollective.com/alpha or head to the show notes to sign up. A tip if you struggle with communicating in the bedroom: practice saying what you want in low stakes situations. For example, if you are out at a restaurant, confidently order your favorite dish with the modifications. This builds the muscle of you expressing your desires, which will eventually translate into the bedroom and beyond. Myth number 3: I have to earn my pleasure, or pleasure is a luxury, not a necessity, is another way of saying that. So, how often have you heard women say, I'll focus on blank doing this thing for myself once everything else is done? Or sex, feeling good in general, is at the bottom of the to do list. We've been conditioned to believe that pleasure is something we earn, not something we inherently deserve. Pleasure is a cornerstone of health and vitality. I wrote a book about it. It's called The Pink Canary back in 2019. Anhedonia is a health problem. The inability to feel pleasure and joy is a health problem. You're hearing more and more influencers talking about this now, as they should. The topic deserves conversation. When you're tapped into your pleasure, you're more creative, magnetic, and alive. You make more money. And here's the kicker: prioritizing your pleasure actually benefits everyone around you. A fulfilled woman is a force of nature. Something that we say in the Pleasure Collective often is no one says no to a turned on woman. Myth number 4: menopause means the end of your sexuality. Also, you need a pill or hormones to fix it. One of the most pervasive myths is that menopause marks the end of women's sexuality or children. Any of these like big life milestones mark the end of our sexual vitality. And this could not be further from the truth. I have clients like that they are dripping wet, lubricating, squirting in their late 60s, early 70s. Men, same goes for men. Limp dicks are not something that we just have to accept as a part of aging. There's so much that can be done. So hormonal shifts can bring changes, yes. So does aging with our bodies. But it also opens the door for deeper understanding and exploration of our bodies and what we desire. What turned us on at 27 doesn't necessarily have to turn us on at 47 or 57. We are different people. We've expanded, we've grown. Our desire should expand and grow with us. A tip: if you have been believing this myth, explore natural ways to support your hormonal health. Mindful movement, try a pole dancing class, proper nutrition, working with a specialist who understands the interplay between menopause and sexuality. This phase of life can be a powerful time to rediscover and redefine pleasure. And yes, you might need some vaginal estrogen. I'm not denying medically necessary intervention, but blaming our hormones when they are one piece of a bigger complex web is keeping you dry and crusty. Myth number 5: Your body should look a certain way to be sexy. So many women believe that they need to fit into a narrow beauty standard to feel sexy or desirable. They have a certain weight, pant size that they think they have to be at to achieve ultimate pleasure. And this is just like anatomically and physiologically not true. This myth disconnects us from our innate beauty and sensuality of our unique bodies. True sexiness comes from confidence and embodiment, not from conforming to external beauty standards. And when you are deeply connected to your body, when you have pleasure mastery, you radiate magnetism at any size. And remember, attraction, especially from a man, comes from his ability to give to you, to watch you, to hear you, to see you respond to him, to see you receive. Alphas suck at receiving. Again, if you haven't already, I want you to head to the show notes and sign up to receive my private podcast series, The Pleasure Path, an alpha woman's guide to feeling fulfilled. Or you can visit thepleasurecollective.com/alpha. Something you can start doing today is practicing mirror work or spending a few minutes each day naked. Ideally, you'd express gratitude to your body. This is research proven to help dissolve these myths and beliefs. And the sixth myth that we are talking about today is that sexual desire should be spontaneous. It is another common myth that sexual desire should come out of nowhere, like a lightning bolt, like in the movies. For many women, especially those juggling careers, families, endless responsibilities, this just is not realistic. Desire often needs to be cultivated. It's responsive, meaning it's influenced by context, environment, emotional connection. Did you have a fight? Did they forget to do something for you? Do you not feel safe and secure? Understanding this can free you from the pressure of feeling desire and instead allowing you to create the conditions for it to flourish. If we're waiting around for that lightning bolt to strike, we might be waiting a long time for some of us. And a tip, and you're going to love this one because I'm actually going to encourage you to make a list. Alpha women, we love lists. I want you to identify what turns you on mentally, emotionally, physically. And I'm talking about today, not 20 years ago. And you can create rituals that help you transition from your busy day to a more relaxed, sensual state. This could be lighting candles, changing your clothes, playing your favorite music, or simply taking a few deep breaths. So it is time to break free from these myths and reclaim your right to pleasure. You deserve a life that is turned on in every sense of the word, in and out of the bedroom. Remember, you are not broken. What you have been taught is. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Share this episode with a friend who needs to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe to the Pleasure Principles private podcast. Link is in the show notes for you to do that. And together we will rewrite the narrative for women's sexuality and pleasure everywhere.